What's up, gang? It's Chris Angel coming at you for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Today I was out walking the dog, like I do every day, listening to a podcast. What? Yes, I love listening to podcasts while I'm on my walks. Do you listen to podcasts on your walks? And if you're a longtime listener of the show, you know there's a podcast I like called the Robcast. Rob Bell has a podcast called the Robcast. And today I was listening to the one where he interviews Rainn Wilson, who played Dwight Schrute in The Office. Really great interview, by the way. Highly recommend you go listen to that one. But there were like 3 or 4 different content sparks for me in that episode. I was really feeling that somehow. And one of the things that came up in their conversation was the epidemic of loneliness. Like if you look in our youth, our kids of today, there is an epidemic of loneliness. That was the conversation, which I totally get, right? Because I think we're, as a species, trying to figure out this technology thing, this social media thing, the phone thing. And for a lot of us, it can be consuming. And I think there will be a time for humanity where the phone finds its rightful place and we calibrate back to relationship. The kind of relationship that doesn't leave us lonely. But right now, I think we're just we have these devices and we have these distractions and things that cause us to that help us be lonely. If you want to use the word help, like I don't want to say it's fully their cause, right? It's not that we're not a victim to technology. Like we have choice, we have agency as humans, but we definitely are impacted by technology right now. I think technology is a massive. I would say there's 2 things that are causing this. I think one, technology. It's massive in terms of taking us out of connection and deep conversation with people. So most people's interaction and social interaction, if it happens online, it's not happening from the level of depth, and people aren't being seen. And when you're not seen, you feel lonely. It doesn't matter how much you engage on social media, that if you don't feel seen in those interactions, you get lonely. So the first problem here, I believe, is technology. I mean, one of the causes here is technology. The second is that the world is having a lot of inauthentic exchanges. We are not having real, transparent, and vulnerable conversations with one another. We're not. Partly because I think technology social media has made the standard so high for what the perfect life is. And so nobody wants to be transparent in comparison to the false standard that's been set, right? So technology is taking us out of community and relationship with one another in such a way that we're not being seen. And 2, we're not having authentic exchanges with one another. And that creates loneliness as well, right? Now, this isn't just for our youth. Like my kids are in middle school and high school right now. This isn't just for our youth. This is happening across the board. And I think it's especially happening in business. I think people in business have for a long time, way before social media. I think business could be a very lonely road. A lot of times it's because nobody else in our life, in our immediate circle, understands what it is to be an entrepreneur, understands what it is to go into business for yourself. And so it's very hard to be seen, which again creates the loneliness. If you're not seen, you can feel lonely. It's very hard to be seen by your closest circle for who you really are as a business person. They can't appreciate the depth of your vision. They can't appreciate the depth of your patience and what's the other word I want? Determination. And so you get these like surfacey interactions with your family and friends around business when so much of your life is pouring your soul into your business. And that leaves us very lonely. So I want to point you in a couple directions. share with you a couple thoughts that have opened up for me in reflecting on this loneliness thing. So the first thing I want you to remember is that marketing is a spiritual practice. Marketing is a spiritual practice, meaning that beyond the transaction and beyond the somebody wanting to buy something from you and you sell something to someone, you have to figure out what to say to those you want to serve in such a way that they feel seen by you in your message. You have to get so good at creating a message and marketing that when you speak it, other people feel like you're in their head. They're like, how does he know? How does she know? You have to get so good and dialed into who your people are and where they're stuck and frustrated and wrestling that they feel seen by you. And in that way, it is a spiritual practice because you have to mine your life for truth. You have to think deeply on the deep spiritual things of life and why we as humans are lonely and stuck and frustrated and angry. That is a spiritual journey. So, the first piece of this is you getting dialed into the spiritual journey of this. If your existence in business is only trying to make the next sale and you don't think deeper about the things of life, then your business will feel hollow and empty to you. I said this before, but you have a God-shaped hole in your marketing. You have a God-shaped hole in your business. And that is not denominational, that is non-denominational, that is across all humans. The second thing then I want you to see is, or that I want you to think about is beyond the spiritual practice for you, that your marketing actually starts to create a tribe over here. When people start to resonate with your message, that you have the potential, the beginnings of a tribe. Now, if how you think about your products, services, programs, offers are direct to the person and not tribal, then, which is what I've done for years, right? I was always marketing to the individual. And then in my services, I was helping the individual. And I did nothing to connect my clients, my people with one another. Which is really odd, right? Because when somebody resonates with something that you do, and there's a group of people that resonate with it for a reason, a deep reason, that is the perfect environment to bring them together and invite them to connect with one another. So I want you to start to think about your programs and your services, your offers, with whatever it is that you sell, whatever program you have, but also the community that it can create. The community that it can create. One of the things I'm so proud of and so inspired by is the community that is developing inside of the Groundswell Method Intensive. Inside of people who have come through this 6-week program where I walk them through how to create their marketing message, they are reaching out to one another in a Facebook group. They are connecting with one another around the spiritual practice of marketing. They are encouraging one another. Right? And I think it's in that. And that is just the beginning of what we could create together in this tribe, in this Groundswell tribe. There's all sorts of stuff we can do together, but that it's starting here is amazing. And it's a massive aha moment for me, right? I'm like, oh my God, look at this. This is incredible. I just hadn't thought about it. So, one of the ways we can put a dent in the universe around loneliness is, one, start to press into the spiritual practice of marketing. Because in that, you'll find deep truths of life that leave you not feeling as lonely. You actually feel inspired deep in your soul. And you can be at peace with wherever you're at in life and business because you are connected deep that way spiritually, right? Also, that we can put a dent in the universe for loneliness when we start to share our programs, our services, our offers, and bring the people together that have been inspired by what it is we offer. And as you do that, we start to create community. And I think here, I'll end with this, but I think what's cool in this day and age, as much as loneliness is a factor due to technology and shallow, inauthentic interactions, I think that we are going to come out the other side of this because as a species, we're very intelligent, and we will find our equilibrium. We just will. Like, that's how the evolution of it all works, right? We will find a way that works for us. And I think we're stepping into that. I think we're starting to ask those kinds of questions. What does our life look like with technology, but balanced with community and connection? And I think we're in the breakdown still. I don't think we're in the breakthrough yet, but I think we're in the breakdown, and that's causing us to ask questions we haven't asked before about technology. We were for so long have been just tuned out on our devices, and we're now starting to see where some of that is falling short, how that's impacting us. So I want to encourage you that marketing is such an awesome, if you're in business, right? That's who this show is for. If you're in business, marketing is such a great bridge to creating this connection so that you don't feel lonely and your people don't feel lonely. So if you'd like help for how to create programs and create content that finds your tribe so that you can build community, I recommend that you apply for my 6-week program called Groundswell Method Intensive. You want to start with a free course because that gives you sort of the whole taste of what the 6-week program is about. It's a free course created just for you. And you can start it right now at groundswellmethod.com. On the last page of that course is the application for the 6-week program. And you would just fill out the application. It comes directly to me, and I will let you know whether you're in or not. So thanks for hanging out with me here tonight. Here's to you and all the joy that comes with community. See you tomorrow.